Little experiment. Show of hands. Do you like being touched? Do you not like being touched? Yeah, we are Lutherans, for crying out loud. Don't touch me. Yeah. So let's do a little experiment. Be patient with the gray-haired old guy. Ready? I invite you all to stand up. This is Lutheran aerobics. Now, turn and face another person. Good job, Officer Olson. Now, when you face that person, reach out your hand and shake their hand. You with me? Now stay standing. Nice. Now do this with your arms. Extend your arms open wide. Okay, that's enough. How many of you just experienced a little, oh, you can have a seat, yeah. How many of you experienced just a little bit of anxiety there? I won't force you to hug. I hug people all the time because I'm a little touched. When you get nervous about that, this whole thing of touch, we're looking at that today, but this whole thing of touch, many studies have been done about the devastating results or effects on infants who don't have human touch. It's even true for adults, especially as we get older. We all long to be touched, right? And some of us are touched, right? You can say yes. So today we're looking at touched. The Gospel of Mark, favorite book, because it's the shortest, got the most action, and Jesus has just come from healing this and healing that. And so there's two stories really here. We're skipping the middle story. So when you go home, pick up the book and look at chapter 5. There's a story in there about Jesus touching someone and she touching him, healed instantly. This one, right? There's this guy named Jairus. Oh, by the way, if you run across a name you can't pronounce in the Bible, just say it fast. No one knows how to pronounce it. This Jairus guy is kind of a big shot, right? He's made his way through the crowd, right? And he gets up to Jesus, right? And it says he fell at Jesus' feet begging repeatedly. Whew. Leading religious leader of the day falls at the feet of Jesus, begging. This guy's a big shot. He's a VIP. He's a wheel. You don't behave like that. He behaves like a what? A desperate dad. Close to hysteria with fear, grief, horror, and God knows what. His daughter is at the point of death. And Jairus doesn't say daughter, does he? What does it say? His little daughter. She's 12. She's not that little. But Jairus is going to call her his little daughter till he's dead. His daughter is dying, and this guy, this religious leader, has hope. Hope in this man who some say this man is like no other man they've ever met. He's only heard about this guy. She's dying, and he says he's got to know somewhere, where else do I go? So lay your hands upon my daughter. It's kind of a wonder, I think, that through all the commotion of all those people, Jesus heard him. And what does Jesus do? It says, he went. He went. Crowds follow her. Possibly, maybe, presumably, the biggest, hottest ticket in town. I wonder if he got invited to that wedding. You didn't think I was paying attention, did you? Oh, I'm such a slave to social media. Just kidding. Before Jesus and Jairus get too far, people from his town, from his house, the simple souls that they are, come out and say this devastatingly tactless word: "Your daughter's dead." Jairus and Jesus have come too late. Don't bother the teacher anymore. And of course, Jesus breaks the silence. With words to Jairus, he says what? Do not fear. Do not be afraid. Then, he says, only believe. So what is he supposed to believe when his whole life is blown up in his face? Believe. Believe that somehow life makes a sense even in the face of the death of his 12-year-old girl? Believe that in some unimaginable way all will be well no matter what? Believe in God? Believe in Jesus? Jairus doesn't ask what he is to believe or how he is to believe. Maybe believe that he has nothing to be afraid of? Jesus does what? Sends everyone home. When they get to Jairus' house, they find it full of people. And what does it say? Weeping and wailing loudly. This is not the 21st century, but it's the first century. And probably people apparently started saying things like, "It's really a blessing," or "She's in a better world now." Because for the most part, they didn't believe in a better world. They wept and wailed because they didn't have it in them to pretend that the death of a child is anything but tragic and unspeakable thing that it is. Or to tell them something like, it's God's will for you. What he did instead, did you catch that? Jesus, it's right there. Jesus said what? The child is not dead, but sleeping. You see, people knew death when they saw it. They did. Send the people out, Jesus says. He took the 12-year-old by his hand and said, Talitha cum, which means, little girl, get up. And she got up. And she walked around. Then what does it say? Overcome with amazement? You think so? Hello? Yes. Oh, give her something to eat. And then how about that line we just kind of skip over? Jesus says, yeah, don't tell anyone. Really? My kid just comes back from the dead and I'm not supposed to tell a soul? I'm telling anybody and everybody. No, don't tell anyone. Life given back to this little girl. Also life given back to the mother and the father who stood there with no words they knew how to say. The worst thing that had ever happened to them had suddenly become the best thing that ever happened to them. We can only imagine what she's going through, what he's going through. So, almost done. How are we doing on time? Pretty good? Good. So, the question is there a part in this story where we see ourselves? Talitha cum. Little girl, old girl, little boy, old boy. Boys and girls, little old boys and girls with high blood pressure and arthritis. young boys and girls with tattoos and body piercings who believe, and to do what? There's something to believe in, and sometimes we believe and sometimes we don't have anything, and we would give anything if we had something. And then there's you happy ones who can hardly remember what it was like to be happy once. You know where you're going and how to get there, and you don't know much this time, and you aren't sure that you're getting anywhere. Get up, Jesus says. All of you, all of us. And the power to give life is not just to the dead like this child, but to those of us who are only partly alive. Which is to say, to people like you and like me, who are much of the time we live our lives closed off to the beauty and miracle of things, including the beauty and the miracle of every day we live, and even in ourselves. You are a miracle. It is that life-giving power that is the heart of the story. A story of a dad who loved his daughter, and he went to any length of hope and new life and new beginnings. That is where his heart is at, and that's where our story's at. We have that hope. The power of new hope, the power of new beginnings, of new life. Whether we know it or not, I think it keeps us coming back to places like this, year in and year out, day in and day out. Keeps us going, keeps us getting up. Even as we get older, it's not as easy as it wants to get up. And we look forward to that day, that one day when Jesus reaches out and takes us by the hand and gives us new life. Talitha cum. Amen.